Most tasks don't take as long as you think they do. Today, I'm going to teach you how to become more effective by shortening the time that you spend on big projects. Hey everyone, welcome back into another episode of Fast and Focus, where we dive into topics that go beyond the form of traditional self-discipline. I'm Zach Matthews, the head coach over here at Fast and Focus, and today you're watching episode 2 of the time management series, where we're diving into 5 different time management hacks you can use to get more done in less time. Over the course of these 5 weeks, we're covering the 5 different time management principles that you need to incorporate into your lifestyle and your career. Now, you can find episode 1 on eating the frog through the link in the description below. But today, I'm going to be telling you everything that you need to know about Parkinson's Law, what it is, the benefits of it, how you can implement it into your life, and we're going to cover the obstacles that you'll face as you try to leverage it as well. In our fast-paced world, the workload never seems to shrink, and time remains our most valuable commodity really until the day we die, if we're being honest. And so Parkinson's Law is hands down the best solution that I've found for that issue. Now, what is Parkinson's Law? Parkinson's Law was something that was initially coined by Cyril Northcote Parkinson in a 1955 essay that he did on productivity. And basically, he pointed out that any task is going to either swell or contract to the time available for its completion. Basically, however much time you give a task or a project, it's going to either swell or contract to the time window that you've given it. So that actually, I've found that to be true on both a micro and a macro level. For example, let's say that I give myself all morning to work on the rough draft for next week's episode on time blocks, right? So that I'll undoubtedly have that task done by the end of the morning, no doubt. But I'm probably giving myself a little too much time to work on that rough draft. So my morning will probably be filled with, without realizing it, some distractions like scrolling through social media, checking my email a couple times, falling down potential rabbit holes as well. But here's where Parkinson's Law kicks in, because if I were to give myself only 60 to 90 minutes to work on that same rough draft, there is no doubt in my mind I would have the same quality of work by the end of that 60 to 90 minutes. And I'm implementing the eating the frog principle that we talked about last week as well, because I'm doing it first thing in the morning. Therefore, that's going to help me limit distractions, because I know I only have a certain time window to complete it. I'm going to cut out those distractions. I'm going to avoid my phone, and I'm going to avoid potential rabbit holes as well. Now, here's one of the most fascinating parts of Parkinson's Law in my mind, is that the same thing is true for tasks that are larger in scale or way more difficult to perform. So for example, let's say that someone tells themselves on January 1st of next year that, hey, I'm going to lose 15 pounds by year's end. So they're giving themselves basically 12 months to lose 15 pounds. Now, that is a great goal, but they're probably giving themselves a little too much time and grace to lose that 15 pounds. In my mind, they could implement Parkinson's Law and focus in and lose that same 15 pounds in only 3 to 4 months, literally 1/4 of the time that they're giving themselves right off the bat, because Parkinson's Law would help them reduce the time and increase the focus in ways such as cutting calories, being more intentional about tracking their food, following a regimented workout plan, or trying things off the beaten path a little bit, such as implementing intermittent fasting and so on. It's important to note that the benefits of Parkinson's Law span way past just saving more time on your schedule. First, as you can see there, it's going to increase your efficiency. So by shortening the time window for your projects, you're going to encourage a sense of urgency in everything you do. And therefore, you're actually subliminally holding yourself to a higher standard of productivity and efficiency. Second, it's going to enhance your focus. So setting these shorter deadlines can help people stay more focused on tasks, because you're zeroed in on the project at hand rather than just kind of giving yourself a little wiggle room here or there, which usually leads to scrolling through social media, if we're being honest. And then third, it's going to reduce the procrastination. So there's no wiggle room here, and you're giving yourself more accountability in the form of time windows, those firm time windows, those firm commitments. So you're going to refrain from putting it off any longer. So after everything that we've covered so far, what Parkinson's Law is, where it originated from, and the benefits of it, the question still has to be asked: how do I implement this into my life if I'm doing it for the first time? So there's 3 strategies that I've got for you to do just that. So first, we're going to set tighter deadlines. Now, the question has to be asked as well, how tight of a deadline should I set for a project depending on its difficulty and length? I always say setting shorter, realistic deadlines for tasks. So basically, you want to place that deadline just beyond the reach or just beyond the realm of comfortability, whatever feels like it would put just a little bit of stress on you, because that actually creates healthy stress, which will help us cut out the distractions and move forward versus laterally or down a rabbit hole somewhere. Second, we're going to implement time blocking, and we're going to cover time blocking at length in the next episode of this series, episode 3 of the time management series. But just know that time blocking is going to help you allocate specific time slots for each task, therefore preventing them from expanding endlessly, which we've all been a victim of before, or through corporate of, let's be honest. And then third, we're going to prioritize the large tasks. So prioritize the most important tasks, and doing that will maximize the productivity and the effectiveness within those set time frames. And since you've already implemented the eat the frog principle, like we talked about in episode 1, you're ensuring that the hardest, most important project of your day is getting the energy and the time that's required to get maximum focus and knock it out of the park. All right, so last but not least, let's cover the challenges that you will most likely face as you try to implement Parkinson's law for the first time in your lifestyle and your career. Regardless of where you try to implement it, you're definitely going to come across these things at some point. So first of all, the first one, and just like the eating the frog principle we talked about last week, one of the biggest obstacles you're going to face is overcommitment. It's going to be easy for you to see the value in Parkinson's law and implementing it, and then you're going to want to apply it to every single thing that you do. And the goal isn't to lessen the time of each task so you can add more unnecessary tasks to the back end of your day. The goal is to do something first thing in the morning, eating the frog, and you're going to give yourself a specific time to do the most important task so that you can ensure that you are getting the maximum quality for the most bang for your buck, really. That's the goal here. So don't overcommit to too many tasks. Just focus on the ones that you need to do, hone in on them, and give yourself a certain amount of time to do them for maximum effectiveness. Second of all, the biggest challenge is the adaptability to change. So there's no doubt about it. I mean, this principle, the Parkinson's law principle, goes against the grain of our modern society. Don't give in to the distractions and the criticisms. It works. It's going to help you become more effective and eliminate the busy work that everybody else becomes a victim to. And then last but not least is the quality versus quantity mindset. It's going to be easy for you, and we're all guilty of this. It's going to be easy for you to try to justify, hey, if I can get more done throughout my day, then that's more valuable than spending more time on one task. And that's just not true, because that's where we start to make mistakes, and we start to, things start to slip through the cracks, is when we put too much on our plate. We only have a certain amount of time each day, but we try to put too much on our plate, and then other things just start to slip through the cracks. So what we actually want to do is we want to be realistic about how many 60 to 90 minute sessions we can put in a day. And so one of the best examples I've ever come across on this subject is actually Stephen King, the best-selling author, one of the most popular artists of all time, right? He actually only gives himself 3 to 4 hours every single day to write. You would think that he would spend all day writing, but he only gives himself 3 to 4 hours. He said he actually used to do it in less time, but as he's gotten a little older, he's given him more time to do the same amount of work. And the reason he does this is because he's not going for speed or quality. He just sits down to write, and he finds that giving himself 3 to 4 hours to do so, it actually helps him hit his goal of 1,000 what he calls quality words by the end of that session. So when he was younger, he admits that he could do that in probably 1 to 2 hours, but he needs 3 to 4 now to hit the same metric. And his goal isn't to have it be foolproof or to get to 5,000 words. His goal is just to get to 1,000 quality words. Sometimes that ends up being, he's admitted, that ends up being him writing 2,000 words and getting it down to 1,000 quality words. But he only gives himself a certain amount of time. He eats the frog every single morning, and he implements Parkinson's law. He gives himself 3 to 4 hours in this example to do the task that he needs to do, the most important task of his day, to make sure that he's pumping out best-selling novels like his fans and his publishers expect him to. Well, there you guys have it. By setting shorter deadlines, Parkinson's law is going to help you increase your effectiveness and enhance the focus that you put towards any given task, and you're going to be able to do it in less time. You're going to build your time management skills in a way that's going to impress everybody else around you. They're going to notice that you are able to get more done in less time, and less things are falling through the cracks because you're being intentional about the time you spend on every single task that matters, and the less amount of time that you spend on things that don't. And I'm going to invite you guys, try this out for the next 7 days. Decide on the one task that you need to focus on the most. Give yourself 60 minutes every single day for the next week to do it, and you're going to be impressed by the results. And for those of you that try it and you see great results with it, or you have questions on the process, be sure to leave those in the comments below. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us on this episode of Fast and Focus. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel so that you can stay up to date with the latest episodes and stay motivated on your personal path to self-improvement. As always, keep pushing forward, stay resilient, and focus on the journey ahead.